Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Mouse Jones once again, this time joined by Earthkey.
Hello, hello, hello.
Woo! Game 2 going on. Williamsville North on the blue team. Purple team is going to be AP Garen. Getting into picks and bans here. The first two bans, Thresh and Jax.
Yeah, not too surprising to see Thresh banned out, but honestly, Jax, while he's still a very, very solid pick up top, he's very, very good at what he does, pushing the lane, harassing an opponent. There's so many other champions at the moment that I feel are much better choices. So many other bans that are more worthwhile, such as Mundo, Shyvana, and while they might not have the hard CC or the intense tower clear that Jax does have, both are very good at clearing minions, both are incredibly good at tanking, and they just demand so much attention due to the damage that they bring and the ability that they have to just be so inherently tanky. And it looks like Rengar's coming out as well now, Mouse.
And a casting ban.
Oh, but there's no surprise here. Every time we see a casting slip through nowadays, it's just dominating display. Whether he starts off slow and then he gets rolling, or he just starts off going at like... And then you see Cassin at maybe like the 6-minute mark, he's hit level 6, and he gets down to the bot lane, picks up a double kill so easy, just because it's so easy for him to chase, just because he's got so much base damage on him. It's almost impossible to deal with Cassin nowadays.
Indeed. Last ban for, Williamsville North. Is going to be Riven. It's going to be interesting to see who AP Garen bans out. It's going to be J4.
You know, I kind of hope that AP Garen lives up to their namesake, and they do take a Garen top, and maybe build some AP on him. Not a whole lot, but just, you know, enough to satisfy the crowd, because it's not a good build, but it's still a fun one at the end of the day. The thing is, like, yeah, Garen doesn't have any AP ratios, but if you throw on something like DFG, a Lichbane, that's an AP ratio right there. At least you'd have 0.75. You know, you could make it work if you tried really, really hard. But I don't think we're going to get that lucky, unfortunately.
No, we actually first picked Caitlyn.
Ooh. Pretty solid pick. Caitlyn's very safe at what she does, whether it's harassing in lane or just farming. She's also an amazing pusher. But when it comes to late game, she's got to maximize that range of hers. Otherwise, she's just going to get caught out very easily, and she's just going to get taken down so fast because she doesn't have any other bonuses like Draven does with his attack speed boost, that incredible damage boost he gets off of spinning axe. Tristana with her 90% attack speed increase. Jinx with her 140%. Like a lot of other AD carries, especially the ones that we're seeing a lot of play nowadays, have these huge steroids that really, really help them on late game. And yeah, Caitlyn's got the headshot, but it's not the same as having a huge attack speed boost or an insane AD boost every second or so.
We actually see a Renekton Leona going down for AP Garen.
Well, unless
on the other side, it looks like it's going to be a Blitz Elise going down for Williamsville North.
Ooh. I don't know about the Blitz and the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is someone who excels at poking down champions, and she's amazing at what she does. Going with someone who's very good at going all in, like Blitzcrank, who just grabs someone, knocks them up, and expects their AD carry to just blow someone up instantaneously. Like, it's not the best combo. Does that mean it won't work? No, not at all. Caitlyn can utilize her cupcake traps, her Yordle snap traps, and trap people as long as she places them well, as soon as they've been knocked up. But
right, yeah, it's about timing in that lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. And she's got a decent amount of burst, but not the same as other champions like Graves or Ezreal or even Lucian.
I honestly hope to God these are not troll picks. I would love to see this. One of them was a troll pick. The Zillion was a troll pick. But it looks like we make it a brand Soraka.
Well,
there's going to be a Shyvana. Shyvana lock troll pick.
We never get these fun champions anymore. We never get to see Timebeard. We never get to see Soraka. It's so unfortunate. Although I don't think Soraka is someone you really want to go against. She's easy to kill, but she's frustrating to deal with at the same time, especially playing with Caitlyn. But that only leaves the AD carry for AP Garen, and they've got a few choices here. They could go Draven while he gets shoved out of lane due to the range. He could still harass a great deal with those spang axes, or Garen could go with late game counter, choosing someone like Tristana or Jinx, someone who's going to excel late game and just crush Caitlyn once they get past a certain point in the game. But we'll wait and see. It looks like Wukong is being hovered over at the very least now, but then locked in.
Yep. And we see Wukong. Now we're into the last pick. Obvious troll is obvious as it's Garen being hovered.
You can't shut down a team just by hoping they conform to the normal meta, though. For all we know, Garen Leona is what AP Garen is planning on going. And they've got a fair amount of lockdown. So it could work, technically. Zenith Blade into Shield of Daybreak, followed by Decisive Strike, would force Caitlyn to get hit by a fair deal of Garen's Judgment. Is it the most effective lane? No, probably not, but it's definitely possible.
Exactly, it's actually going to be a Lucian pick there.
Well, maybe someday. Hey, if AP Garen gets to the finals, I think we should request a Garen. I think it'll be what everyone wants, but you know, it's their call at the end of the day. And with that Lucian on their side, working together with Leona, that should be a pretty hard to deal with bot lane for Caitlyn. Sure,
they're obviously going for the. Oh, sorry.
Sure, she can get out a fair deal of poke, and that's what she's going to have to do early on. Because once Leona hits 2, once Lucian hits 2, she is just going to get jumped on and smacked up. And Blitzcrank is going to do what he can, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially if Leona and Lucian play it very, very well.
Indeed. I'm looking at this. It's obvious that it's obviously a protected Caitlyn comp coming down from Williamsville.
It's very true. They've got a whole lot of CC on that team. Cho with his rupture, very, very underrated since we don't see a lot of Chos at the moment.
No,
but that also
not at all.
synergizes very well with Wukong Cyclone on top of that. And then you've got Elise, but would it necessarily be a protect the Caitlyn comp? I don't know. And even if you were to have a protect the AD carry comp, I don't know if you'd want to choose Caitlyn. Maybe someone like Tristana, who's also got a couple of very, very nice escapes built into her kit. A lot longer range late game and a much nicer steroid late game. No, I think they're just kind of going with champs that they're very, very comfortable with. Chogath, kind of an odd pick nowadays. Not a bad one, but just something you don't necessarily see very often. Whereas AP Garen is definitely going for something. They're going for a more in-your-face kind of build. You've got the Shyvana and the Renekton who kind of just jump into the enemy team. Maybe not the smartest thing when they're against a Wukong, but they did choose their champions first, so it is understandable. You got the Leona Solar Flare to back up, and then Pyroclasm from Bran and the Culling from Lucian, as well as his normal auto attacks. AP Garen looks like they're just going to smash their face into Williamsville and take the game from there. Williamsville North, on the other hand, gonna have to just play it smart. As long as Blitzcrank can pull either the Lucian or the Bran, gonna have a fantastic game. Gonna do amazing things because both are pretty squishy, and Bran has no way of escaping once he gets grabbed. Unless he builds that zone, unless his flash is up all the time, he's gonna be burning that very, very quickly if Blitz can keep on landing those grabs.
on AP Garen's side, actually, let me just erase what I just said. This game is going to come down to whether AP Garen can get through the tanks of Williamsville and take down the Caitlyn and then take away the secondary damage source, which looks like it's going to be Wukong or Elise.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the two. Not too sure yet who the top lane is and who the jungler is at the moment. Because you could go with, honestly, either of those two. And to be fair, you could also throw Chogath into the mix, although it has been ages, absolute ages, since I've seen a Chogath jungle. I think we're more likely to see the Elise up on top, where she can harass Renekton down with her ranged abilities, keep him at bay with her stun, and you'll see Wukong going into the jungle, ganking from there, and Chogath will sit nicely mid lane and just out-sustain Brand for days.
Indeed. And it is your least favorite time, sir.
No. Please no. Please no. Spare me and my children.
Blocks.
Now, here's the thing, and what I don't really understand, and that is why Chogath, really? It's not, like I said earlier, it's not a bad pick, but it's such a strange one. And I would have said the exact same thing if AP Garen had locked in that zone as well. Yes, I would have loved seeing it, and I do really enjoy seeing a Chogath, because Chogath is one of those champions who takes a fair amount of skill. That Rupture isn't the easiest skill shot to land. The Fatal Scream, yes, but the Rupture can be quite difficult to land.
If you wanted a tanky AP mid, Gragas was open. You know, you didn't even really need a tanky if you knew you were going to get Elise and Wukong or Blitzcrank. You could have gone Ziggs too.
Yeah, Ziggs has been such a popular pick lately as well, just because of all the damage that he brings into that laning phase, and all that damage he brings outside of it as well. He harasses in lane and just dominates from there, unfortunately. But the Chogath, it takes a fair amount of skill, I'd say. Just because you've got to last hit well, and you're going to have to get in range of Brand spells, of his auto attacks on top of that. And Carnivore is going to keep Chogath alive. That is his passive that regenerates health and mana every single time he gets a last hit, whether it's on champion, a minion, even towers, actually, strangely enough. But Brand should have a pretty easy time dealing with him unless he is ganked by that Elise, who's actually in the jungle. I didn't expect that. I thought she would go top to deal with Renekton, whom Wukong is going to have a fairly difficult time with. Now, the only reason I say this is just because while Wukong does have a great deal of damage that he brings to the table up there, Renekton has got everything you could ever want in a top lane. He's got the sustain, he's got the stun, and he's got an untargeted dash. So he can go through walls, he can go into bushes without actually having to see Wukong, without actually having to target him. And that's just what makes him so effective up on that top lane. And once he hits 6, he just becomes incredibly tanky on top of that. So Elise, with her ranged abilities, can harass him down, can poke him down, and stay relatively safe since she does have a stun. Wukong doesn't get his CC until level 6, so until then, he's going to be in a very, very precarious spot.
Waiting on this level, one here, trying to think of what they could do.
Well, if you are Williamsville North, you've got the amazing Blitzcrank on your team, and I'm surprised they're not really grouping up and working with that Blitzcrank, actually, because he's incredibly easy to start off and invade with, but it doesn't look like they're really maximizing the potential of Blitzcrank at the moment. See, here's the thing. We've talked about how Thresh is kind of like a slightly better Blitzcrank just based on his kit. But Thresh can't do what Blitzcrank can in terms of just pulling someone all the way into your team, especially at level 1. Sure, you can grab someone, sure you can stun them for that whole 1.5 seconds, but you can't just pull them through walls and force that flash early on. And I'm surprised that Williamsville North didn't take advantage of it, and I don't understand why.
Very, very interesting Wukong mid.
Yeah, I was so sure it was going to be the Chogath, but I feel like Williamsville just reconsidered that, or maybe this was the plan all along, send Chogath up top, but oh, Wukong.
That's gonna be a dead Wukong.
That is definitely a Wukong. Oh, that monkey
overly dead.
Up.
He just like gave up. He just like sat there and just like hinged me. Like William Dafoe in Platoon.
2 burning passives on him. There was no way he was getting out of that with the Ignite, with Brand's passive on him on top of that. Hopefully this doesn't become a trend though. I think once Wukong hits level 6, things should be able to go in his favor, but for now he's gonna have to just stay safe. Just like this Chogath up top.
Oh. Going for a bit of it. Good counter gank.
A very nice job by Elise, but unfortunately Chogath just wasn't in range to get that rupture off. If he'd flashed, maybe, but it wouldn't have been worth it. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, nothing really happening. Caitlyn doing what she can, just kind of poke down, harass, but nothing at the moment. Blitzcrank waiting until they're under tower. Maybe go for one of those tower grabs, blow up either Lucian or Leona, who's still fairly squishy at this level. Oh, so
they're actually gonna go in on Brand. They need this kill badly. He's gonna have to burn his flash, and they're not gonna get it.
No, getting the flash though is still really, really good for Williamsville North. It's not a kill, but it's definitely something. And you've got to remember that Wukong still has his flash as well. So next time Elise does come mid, or if he just uses it by himself, just like
are they gonna get him? No. Ignite is taking him down, but it's not gonna be enough.
No,
they're actually gonna go bot lane. They're gonna get the knock up. The pull is still up from Blitz, and it's gonna be Lucian being pulled. So now they're burned 2 flashes.
2 flashes for the price of 1 on bottom lane. The thing, Elise just went to 2 different lanes and burned a flash in every single one of them. She is doing fantastically right now. And yeah, she didn't get the kill, but you know what? Burning 3 flashes, definitely going to help out their mid lane, definitely going to help out the bot lane as well. It's about setting up things for your laners, and that's exactly what happens when you burn flashes for them. And now, she's actually opted, I didn't notice this at first, but Elise has actually opted to start with a Doran's Blade, rather than something like the Machete, which he can build into something else. I can't say that's something I've been seeing around a lot lately, Mouse. That's new to me. I don't know about you.
Which is?
The Doran's Blade on the jungle Elise.
I saw somebody do that recently in another game.
Maybe I'm getting behind on the times then. Because it's definitely not a bad choice. I know that Tiger Stance Udyr can take it and utilize it very, very well. And I think Lee Sin can actually rock it very nicely. But I just didn't expect on someone like Elise, who goes for that tanky AP build. Although, to be fair, ooh, Chogath in a spot of trouble.
Oh, that's a dead Chogath. And, you know, Elise is down at levels. Needs to be careful here going in.
Yeah, she can't take on that Renekton, especially with Dominus still up. He wants to play.
And that is going to be a dead Elise. Maybe no, burns her flash to get away.
Yeah. And Brand is up there now as well. If she sticks around, though, she is going to get crushed. Wukong gotta do his best to push up that mid lane, try and get her back.
Oh, maybe that's a dead Brand. Yes, it is. But Elise goes down too.
Thing is, while it was an assist for Renekton and a nice kill for Brand, it did give a shutdown gold to Elise. Not a huge amount, mind you. Only 2 kills on Brand when he killed her, including the one that he just got. But you gotta be careful about doing this kind of stuff. People often forget just how much gold they're worth when they're farther ahead. And ooh, Caitlyn getting grabbed.
Yeah. Oh, Wukong's down there too for blue teams. Going to ult. They're going to try to get the Leona as the exhaust goes down onto Wukong. Caitlyn netting. Leona trying to get away. Chasing into the Shyvana and Brandon. Blue team over engages here. They're going to have a problem. And they are going to over engage. But now they're going to back out.
Unfortunately, while Blitzcrank did a fantastic job of just zoning Lucian out of that fight, he didn't turn back onto Leona, who was just dropping so low due to Cyclone and Piltover Peacemaker. But I don't know. That's what happens at the end of the day. Unfortunately, there are always going to be those team communication issues, and it's going to cost you those kills. Now, Mouse. Up on top, Chogath is actually leveling up his Rupture rather than his Feral Scream, and I don't really understand that. Rupture, the only thing that increases with Rupture as you level it up is, I believe, the mana cost and the damage, nothing else. So you still get the exact same knockup, you still get the exact same slow as well. Whereas if you were to go for something like Feral Scream, the silence duration increases, the cooldown also goes down, if I'm remembering it correctly. And while it's not a huge deal, and someone like Renekton, who utilizes his abilities a lot, and incredibly shut down just from being a silence spread. Hold the phone, Elise! Oh.
Gonna get caught out. Just has nowhere to go. The Brain gets a kill in the blue buff and the red buff.
A bit of overkill using the Pyroclasm there, but he picked up the blue buff, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not on a huge cooldown. Meanwhile, up top, Renekton is just doing dirty things to this Chogath.
Ooh, Chogath gets knocked up though, just gonna stop that fight.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though. He does see the Shyvana in the jungle, but that doesn't mean she can't dive him. Luckily for him, she did return back to base, and Renekton just being so evil, using that Call of the Meek while he's under tower. He just doesn't care. He's so ridiculously tanky. He's got a Giant's Belt already. Good God. Oh, meanwhile, on bottom lane,
got a beautiful God Hand pull there as the exhaust goes down. They're desperately trying to get him. They are going to pick up that kill with the barrier. They can get through the barrier. They're going to get the kill Blitzes, but now Shyvana's in on there, but Elise is in there too. This could get interesting. They're going to get the knock-up on Shyvana. They're should be getting damage down to Leona. Leona's the one behind. They're going to focus the Shyvana though. Putting them at a disadvantage, and ult's going to go down and Shyvana's just going to tank it.
Oh, a nice play on bomb. Blitzcrank just rushing up, getting that nice grab, and while Shyvana did her best to try and get into that fight, just a little too late there, and Lucian fell while burning everything, I believe. I know he popped the barrier. The flash, I think, was already down, but he could have used that in there as well. Meanwhile, the other lanes are just going at it. Wukong is just getting absolutely controlled by Brand in the mid lane, forced to go back once again. He's farming pretty decently, but he's still 25 behind this Brand, who also has 3 kills on him. And then up on the top lane, Brand is coming to play. And
that's gonna be a dead Brand if they can do it. Oh yeah, burn the ult though again.
Oh my goodness. When Brand can walk up to your tower from behind, casually take 2 or 3 tower shots, and then just walk out as if it's nothing, that's when you know you've got a bit of a problem on your hands. Williamsville North has to pay attention to that. They've got to do something about that Brand. They've got to either shut him down or just take care of him, because he's starting to get out of control. Renekton also doing very well at the moment. He should be a target for Williamsville, or they're just going to lose this. He's 2-0-1 right now, 80 farm. You need to take him out soon. Otherwise, he's going to hit mid-game, and you're going to have no way of dealing with him. Your Caitlyn is just going to get stunned and destroyed. It's
interesting to say that even though they're at this disadvantage, they're also at a farm disadvantage top and mid. Bot lane has got to get it together a little bit more, start getting the kills, try to snowball this, because they're really the lane this team is relying on to win this game. Because it seems like Elise, Wukong, and Cho just can't get anything started yet.
No, they're really having just problems.
Oh, they're actually going to catch... Maybe Elise gets caught out. No. And if Brand had his ult up, something would have gone different there.
It definitely would have gone different there. But the problem with Brand's ult is it's very lucky, unfortunately. And I hate using that word because Riot's done a fantastic job of trying to eliminate as much luck from this game as they can. There was the removal of dodge, critical hit chance. While that was a bit of a smaller project, was taken care of a bit ago, so it's not as lucky when you get these random crits. But here's the thing, with Pyroclasm, while it does prioritize champions, Wukong's double still counts as a champion. So if he got unlucky there, it just would have bounced to the Wukong, the Wukong clone, after bouncing off someone like Wukong or Elise herself. So I don't know if you would have been able to get that kill. It all depends.
And the only thing I can say that's great for Blue Team is, despite the fact that Renekton has such an advantage top and Brand mid, they haven't given up a tower yet.
No, they're doing a fantastic job of actually holding on. No towers.
I mean, about half. Top lane's only lost about 600.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. Cho has a fantastic amount of clear with the Vorpal spikes on his auto attacks. Honestly, with Rupture and Feral Scream as well, he does a fair amount of damage. So that's not the issue here. He can push them off the tower quite well, and Renekton just can't get much damage on, which is very, very good. It's not... Ooh, hang on though, he's getting taken pretty low.
Oh, we're actually going to see the Leona all come bot lane. Now the calling is going to get on a blitz. Spicy Guts is low. Can Chogath and Cool Guy and the Fanny Bandit get the kill? They can. Oh, Muffin Man got a kill mid on Elise. Hey, tower. Oh, no, he's not going to tower dive there.
No. And unfortunately, he can't even get too close. That's one of the issues with Brand. As soon as you lock a spell onto someone, it's so hard to get any kind of tower damage onto the tower because you just have that burning passive. Oh, meanwhile...
Oh, that's a dead... Yeah.
And this Crocodile shows no mercy whatsoever. Oh, and with no one around, too, that's going to be a fair amount of damage up onto that top lane, which was initially doing so well.
Oh, they are going to chase on the lost new bot lane. Go, Shyvana's going to pick up that kill, too.
Yeah, you got to be scared of those dragons. That gun isn't going to protect you. She's so ridiculously fast with Burnout. And I believe that a movement speed buff increases every time you level it up, too. So it's at about 50% move speed buff at the moment. There's no way you can outrun her. No way at all. And now it looks like they're going to go for the dragon. Williamsville are going to have signed them, but only for a little bit, as that ward is almost dead, and they are making absolutely no moves on it at the moment. I'm wondering if morale is actually kind of getting lowered at this point. 15 minutes in, it's been a fairly slow game in terms of kills, but the kills that have come out have mostly come out on the side of AP Garen. 2 to 9 at the moment. Towers are finally falling as well. 2 in the favor of AP Garen. And while Williamsville are doing their best to take this top one, if Renekton just goes up there, he doesn't have his ulti, but he can lay down a huge amount of damage if he wants to.
Indeed. Blue Team's done a great job of, despite the fact they're down 7 kills, they're only down 6k gold. Top tower's low. Trying to see what mid is at. It's about the same.
Yeah, Wukong hasn't really been able to get much damage onto it. The next tower, in terms of what? Ooh,
it's gonna be a dead Elise. Chogath is gonna be on a killing spree. Daniel Choder on a rampage. That is a fed angry dragon there. Leona's gonna get the combo. Spice Guy taking some damage. Oh, the calling comes out after the Leona ult. Fuzzy Bandit getting exhausted in silence, trying to pick up Spice Guys. Gets pulled, gets the kill. Oh! Caitlyn is in trouble here. Brand is there. Oh, misses the stun though. But he's going to have enough damage to finish it off.
Yeah, Brand showing up meant that Caitlyn had zero chance of getting away there unless she ran away from the beginning, and she was opting more for that kill. And you know, would have been the best option, because if she had stuck around, if she hadn't taken out the Lucian, she just would have gotten dived anyway. That tower still would have fallen. The kill on Lucian was definitely her best bet there. And now, with 3 towers in favor of AP Garen, things are slowly rolling out of control here. And the best target for Williamsville at the moment is that Brand. Even though he's got Giant Spell, he's got the Seeker's Armor, he's still fairly squishy, and it only takes a bit of CC, he's dead. You kill him, you get a nice shutdown gold bonus. You get a fair amount of morale back, because he's been one of those people that's just gone around and picked up kills left and right. He's been top, he's been bottom, and he's gotten kills wherever he goes. So if you take him out, you get a nice morale boost back to the team, you get a nice gold boost back to whoever killed him. And he's just the man of the game at the moment. So I don't want to look down on Renekton and Shyvana, who are also doing incredibly well, but these are just champions that Williamsville can't touch at the moment. Renekton's incredibly tanky. Ooh.
Shyvana trying to get in on this, but Spicy Guys gets that silence off. The chase is on now, but can't really get any other damage. Again, Shyvana doesn't have CC, and that is a problem. Does the speed buff, gets AoE damage down to Spice Guys, so that may be enough to help Fanny Bent pick up the kill. He does. Brand's down here, going to get the stun on Caitlyn, get a kill. That's a rampage.
Yeah, and with 4 members of AP Garen on bot lane right now, only 2 members available for Williamsville, because Chogath is up on top lane doing his best to hold back Renekton. This could be another tower or another couple of kills. But no,
maybe.
Instead opting for the red buff, which is still a very, very good choice. And you know, I'm actually surprised Chogath is still able to hold back Renekton the way he is. While he's not doing incredibly well, for someone with 4 deaths and about 50 CS under this Renekton, he's still able to just stand there, stand toe-to-toe with him for the most part.
That's why Chogath is so good. He has that passive and that sustain.
Well, that's part of it as well, but he's so naturally tanky on top of that. Not only from Feast, but through his natural base stats. And so he is able to stay up there. He's able to take a fair amount of the damage. And like you said, that passive is a key component. But just the amount of health this guy has is also huge. And while it's not really doing much for him now, if this game goes on and later, those health stacks from Feast are definitely going to play in Williamsville's favor if they want to come back in this game.
Exactly. Leona making the plays with that ult. Oh, Spice Guys with that pull actually puts them at a disadvantage, because it means Noob is probably going to go down. That Caitlyn trap actually helping them. Watch Noob going to pick up this kill now. Cool Guy in a bad position as Elise comes in, gets the bind down. Caitlyn going to pick up the kill. Actually, it's going to be a nice day to Troll picking up the kill as Chubby Ozen comes in. Trying to get to Lost Noob. They pull away. Chubby Asian still chasing. Trying to get this Caitlyn, but going to die in the process as Brand comes in. Gets the kill. Now Brand is in with the ult. Going to get a kill. Maybe going to get another one. No. Yes, double kill for Brand. 8-1-2.
And Wukong does not want to deal with that right now. Meanwhile, up on top, Chogath escaped with just a sliver of health as Renekton just tower dives past him, doing what he can, but unfortunately not enough. He's got to have some damage on him as well if he wants to take down a Chogath. Now, what happened on bot lane was absolutely incredible. Caitlyn did such a fantastic job of kiting Shyvana as soon as she came in, but prior to that as well, it looked like such a bad fight for them. She got locked down, she got hit with the Shield of Daybreak, with the Solar Flare, but she stayed calm, held her head, actually turned the play around very, very nicely and took Lucian out when there seemed to be no chance of that actually happening.
As I see them taking this dragon, they are going to extend their gold lead even more here.
At the moment, up about 11,000. Ooh, no, pardon me, 10,000. It's not looking good, especially with that 812 brand.
Listening to pause go down.
Yeah, a couple of issues, I guess, but no, I'm sure it's not too big of a deal, hopefully. Yeah. A small reconnection issue. No big deal, no big deal. While we're paused, though, I hope that Williamsville are taking the time to discuss what their next move is. At the moment, no one is really doing well. Everyone has died about 4 times, except for Wukong, who's done a good job of avoiding feeding. But they've got to look ahead. They've got to find out where their target is, because they've got so many options. They've got to take a tower. They've got to take out either Brand or Lucian. But at the same time, you've still got Shyvana and Renekton there, and it's really, really looking dicey at the moment. You've got Caitlyn with her Eye Edge. Not a bad choice, but she's gonna need a Last Whisper as soon as she can, and right now she's kind of sitting on a Vamp Scepter and Cloak of Evasion. I believe it's Evasion or Agility. I don't know. The name is not Agility. There we go. Now, building crit chance on its own is not that great, and yes, she's got the Infinity Edge as well to back her up, but she kind of needs to be working towards a Last Whisper at the moment, because there's no way she's going to be able to get through Shyvana or Renekton's defenses at this point in time. Needs that Last Whisper to do a fair bit more damage, or she's just going to get jumped and crushed. Wukong doing what he can with that Black Cleaver. We haven't really seen Wukong and Caitlyn fight yet at the same time, Mouse. I don't.
Right.
We haven't really seen that advantage come out yet. Ooh, and the pause is off. Blitzcrank is back. I'm gonna jump right back into the game. Now, it's actually a bit insulting to Williamsville. Very, very little magic resist coming out. You've got the Spirit Visage on Renekton, you've got the...
We're gonna catch Leona out there.
And she's just gonna get rocked. There is the Spirit Visage on Renekton, there's the Negatron Cloak on Shyvana as well, so there is that. But besides that, no one else is really building anything towards Elise or Chogath. Not doing that well, but they also still do a decent amount of damage, so you can't count them out just yet. Leona's actually picked up Ninja Tabi, and it looks like she's going towards Warden's Mail at the moment, and I don't think she even cares about Elise. Really don't.
I wouldn't either.
Nah, and even though Chogath does have that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, so he is doing a bit more AP damage, they just don't care about that at this point in time. They're choosing to focus more on that Wukong. They're focusing more on the Caitlyn as well, who you should. You definitely want to build towards the AD carry, but you've got to watch out for Cho, because he will surprise you if you're not careful.
Actually get started here. Shyvana goes in beautifully. They're going to get the slows down. Looked like, but I couldn't tell from what. Oh, trying to go through the over the wall there is Brand.
Yeah, meanwhile, Renekton is going to be able to take this top tower as long as no one comes up to disturb him. Chogath is close, but pretty dead at this point. He should be able to make this out scot-free, because Elise and Wukong just don't have the damage to deal with him. Oh, very, very close. Landing that Seer onto Caitlyn, but just a bit out of range, unfortunately, for Brand. Now, 4-1 at the moment in terms of towers. That gold lead is slowly increasing. More and more. Williamsville's got to act. They've got to get these nice picks, but instead they just keep getting
caught
jumped. Yeah, just like that, once again. And it's not even due to something like Ward not having any vision on the map, because they've got a fair amount of cover in their own jungle. They've got one up here by Riz, they've got a ward, well, they did have a ward down by Golems as well. They've even got one at Dragon, so they should be able to see AP Garen when they come in, but they just really haven't, unfortunately. And now Wukong is going to walk into trouble as well if he's not careful. He is being spotted out by a ward at the moment, but he's not going in. Very smart. Because otherwise he'd just get destroyed by this Leona, Shyvana, and Lucian. Now, luckily for Wukong, it doesn't look like Leona has finished off the greater lens at the moment, so she won't be able to see him once those team fights starts. But as soon as she does, Wukong's stealth is going to be very, well, for lack of a better term, useless, just because he's going to be so easy to spot out. While it's not his only escape mechanic, it's his easiest one, and something that Wukong players need to utilize very well in order to get out of team fights that they don't want to be in, because otherwise they just get kind of crushed. You've got Cyclone, which gives you a little bit of a move speed buff, but not enough to get out. And now we're seeing AP Garen just push down onto this mid turret. They've got to take this one to kind of keep everything going, although they could just opt to... Ooh. Bit slow on that cocoon.
I wonder if red team is going to try and engage under tower.
Yeah, but they're not really gaining anything from it. They don't want to go down there just because of that Wukong Cyclone, which is incredibly deadly, despite the fact that Wukong really hasn't been seen doing much this game. He's helped out with one kill, which was that Leona on in the bot lane jungle around Golems, but outside of that, AP Garen really hasn't seen Wukong Cyclone do that much damage. So I'm not sure if they're afraid of it, or they're just kind of, they don't care too much about it, but they are going to respect Williamsville. They are just going to back out from that mid, and maybe actually opt towards that Baron before they try anything. Nah, Williamsville have got it warded up, but Leona's lens is up as well, so they should be able to just completely eliminate the wards there if they so choose. But it doesn't look like AP Garen is grouping up. It just looks like they're got a couple members mid, Lucian up getting the red buff, and I think they're going to just try and slam their head against this mid tower once again. Maybe try and take that down, maybe just try and wipe all of Williamsville, because if they can wipe them, or maybe take out 3 members or even 2 members, that could spell another tower or just an easy Baron. That might be what they're waiting for. Oh, and once that Wukong gets far out on bottom, we might see an engage come out from Leona.
Would be smart, especially with that Chogath low too.
Yeah, Chogath really not able to tank that well at the moment because of how low he is. And
oh, there's the engage though. That's going to be a lot of damage. The calling, Brandall going down, bouncing between them. Legendary Brand, they're going to take this tower. With 1 down and the 3 of them low. This may be an inhibitor tower too, maybe inhibitor itself.
Not much that Williamsville can do at the moment, Mouse. They're just getting out harassed.
Yeah, they are.
And there's no way of countering that, unfortunately. Caitlyn doing what she can to try and push off Renekton, but he's just ignoring all of that damage. He's got a Sunfire Escape.
They're going to get these Leona ult down to get the slowdown on last news. Tinkles down to back. I'm surprised they're not taking Baron.
I'm surprised Leona waited that long to use her ult. If she'd used it back in that team fight, she could have grabbed at least 2 more members of Williamsville, but instead just held onto it, which is very, very strange, actually. And now the pings are coming out for that blue buff, but Shyvana is going to be able to take it before Williamsville have the chance to do anything about it. Williamsville might actually go for a risky Baron. They've got all 5 members up there, and while AP Garen is moving up from that dragon, or at least Brand is, this might be what Williamsville needs to get back in the game. They're not doing very well down. They're behind 16,000 gold, which is absolutely insane. They've got to do something, and they've got to do something fast. Ooh. Pyroclasm kind of wasted there by Brand. And it looks like Williamsville is just going to be forced back, not really able to do anything. They can't deal with all of that Brand damage, or Shyvana being there to back them up as well. They're just in such a bad spot right now. I'm not too sure if even Baron would be enough to save them. They've got to just pick their fights, and they've got to pick them safe, and maybe just hope for a throw on top of that. Hitting the 31-minute mark, 243 farm on Renekton on top of those 4 kills. He's looking pretty rich, but oh! Brand
gonna get chased. Blitz and they're gonna get the stun, and that's dead. Shut down Brand.
Oh, he got numbed. Oh, and Wukong is actually gonna make it out of there alive, but just barely. And now with Brand gone, Williamsville looking to just hold things down. They've finally gotten that shutdown onto Brand, but now they've got to do something with it. They've got the extra money, they've got the gold, but what are they going to do? Are they going to try and force Baron off this, or are they just going to kind of sit back and repel any kind of advance that AP Garen makes at the moment? Now, here's another thing, Mouse. I was expecting that Chogath would actually go a decent bit more AP damage. Right now, he's sitting on that Glacial Shroud. He's sitting on the Negatron Cloak, although he could build that into something like an Abyssal Scepter, which would be a very, very solid move. Would help boost the damage that he puts out, would help boost the damage that Elise puts out as well.
Right.
But that Glacial Shroud is more than likely going to be a Frozen Heart. And I don't know if you really want to do that. Sure, Renekton deals a lot of damage, but a fair bit of it comes from his Dominus. A fair bit of Shyvana's damage also comes from her Burnout. And it's all magic damage at the end of the day. So instead of building up that Glacial Shroud, just deal with the bigger threats in front of you at the moment.
Yeah, that's a fight blue team doesn't really want. They're now in a horrible position. Wukong's ult is going to get onto nobody. And now Fanny Bandit has the opportunity to chase him out. Now they're kind of caught out. Oh, there's Spicy Guys, though. He's going to go in on him, get the kill onto him. Going to take down Chogath is Shyvana. Leona and Muffin Man taking down Lost Noobs. They can push that lane now. And Renekton is in the base with the minions.
Kind of just doing what he wants to do at the moment. Caitlyn was left all on her own, unfortunately, chased down by a bloodthirsty Leona and Brand. And that's not a fun time for an AD carry, being left all alone against the most fed person on the enemy team. And that whole time, it was actually a 4v5 as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because that just left Renekton to push that bottom tower, like you said, and now he could honestly get this kill on Elise pretty easily.
Yeah, that ignites down, and it's not going to be enough. But now, so he actually is not going to get the kill. Oh, that's going to be a dead Renekton, though.
Oh. And he goes down, but Elise stays alive. Unfortunately, Chogath going down the... And now, one open inhib left, the other two just completely destroyed. It's almost like AP Garen is a cat, and he's just playing with his food, trying to get as much enjoyment out of this as possible. Ooh. And no Abyssal Scepter for Chogath, opting for the Spectre's Cult. He's going to be building that Spirit Visage more than likely. Although he could build a Banshee's Veil, not a bad option. You know, I've been very, very on the fence about the new Banshee's Veil mouse. And at the end of the day, I've decided moving off of the mana that it used to give onto more health. Although I think maybe it was the exact same. Maybe I'm getting my thoughts confused, but I think I do actually really like the new Banshee's Veil. It's not as good as Spirit Visage, in my opinion, but it's definitely a very, very strong item once you know what you're doing with it. And it can just save your butt so many times over. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. I like red team's ward coverage in the enemy team's jungle. They kind of warded the exits, if you will.
They're definitely trying to get as much of you as possible. They have left one Bladen path open.
Oh, they're going to get Drag Killer, maybe.
Oh, not a chance. He is going to live there. And it looks like Brand is going to just go for that inhibitor. Oh! No. A nice enough way by Leona onto Caitlyn, but nothing doing as she does get out, and that will be the last inhibitor falling to AP Garen. They've only got a couple of objectives left. They've got Baron. They just have 2 towers and a Nexus to take out.
Indeed, they do. Oh, wonderful zone is there to get the cooldown resets there. On another rampage, just dominating. Renekton just gets another kill. He's out of this world. Wonderful take on that. So we see the culling coming down. One Nexus tower down. The next Nexus tower down. They're onto the Nexus. There's nothing they can do as they pick up Caitlyn on the platform. Nothing is sacred right now. Game over. AP Garen.